Welcome, and thank you for tuning in to Lady K Chat, a podcast that is designed for men and women to become better versions of themselves, which is broadcast every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Various subjects will be spoken upon, such as relationships, health and wellness, personal development, wealth building, children, and so much more. She is a two-time Amazon best-selling author, an international speaker, and life coach. She is Lady K. And now for your host, Lady K.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Lady K Chat podcast. You are here with your favorite host, Miss Lady K. It is such a pleasure to be with you, and I thank you for tuning in every Tuesday at 6 p.m. here on YouTube, IG, and Facebook, and Spotify, and Apple. I love it. So you can listen to me on the go, video, however you want to do it. But today, particularly, ladies and gentlemen, I am continuing our Black Men in America series. I have to highlight the men that's doing amazing things. It's not what they portray us, how they portray us in the media. That's false. That's a lie, because we are smart. We are educated, and talking about being smart and educated. This brother right here, oh my God, he's doing such amazing things in the community. And not even that, it's just how he put the effects on the young boys. And the young boys need to see men. They need to emulate positive men that's doing things in the community and that want to show you to do things the right way. And not only the right way, but the God way. So everyone, please help me welcome Mr. Charles Doxley.
Hello. I don't know what went on with my microphone, and I do apologize. But yes, thank you for that masterful introduction. I didn't even know you were discussing me at the time, but I guess so, that might be me. But I appreciate the wonderful introduction, and I am here with you guys, just excited about this moment, ready to talk about some of the positive things that a Black man can be for their community.
Absolutely. And Charles, one thing, when you and I was having this conversation, and from what you gave me, I love the fact that your focus is in the STEM area. And for a lot of people that don't know that, I'm going to break down the acronyms. That is, and you can correct me, that's science. I wrote it down because my mentor always said, write it down. Science, technology, engineering, and math. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. That's correct. Science,
right.
Technology, engineering, and math.
Absolutely. So I have my first question to you, Charles, is what drove you to become passionate about STEM?
See, ironically, what drove me to become passionate about STEM was kind of the lack of resources. You know, I really never understood what STEM could be. I really never understood that STEM was an option. I always thought that my only option was basketball, and I was a great basketball player coming up. So I thought I was going to invest all my time and energy in basketball. And so one day someone kind of let me know that, wow, you're good at math. He's like, you're good with the numbers. You're good at science. I was like, okay. I really didn't understand what that meant. But then he told me, no, you can be an engineer one day, young man. I said, engineer, the guy who drives the train? He said, no. He said, a guy who can make hundreds of thousands of dollars using their mind to design, create, and develop things. So I started to kind of get curious. I mean, when you talk six figures plus, it gets the mind and the brain working. So that's kind of where I started in my foundation, and interest in STEM kind of came from my natural gifts, with leading me towards a better lifestyle for myself.
Right. You know what? You said something very provoking. You mentioned how, you just thought about basketball. And I think that is pushed a lot on our youth, for them to focus this to be an athlete, but they need someone to take them by the hand and say, hey, you're bigger than that. Charles, why do you think, I want to make sure I say this correctly, why do you think they push our Black men so much on the athlete world and not academics?
Basketball is a tool. It's supposed to be a resource that you can use to improve something in your life, whether it's just improving your stamina, your conditioning, whether it's just improving the amount of joy and fun that you have in your daily interactions. But people have now made that tool a vessel where basketball is the end game. But see, basketball is really just supposed to be a part of the process. So what we really should be doing is teaching young man that you have to see yourself as a great leader, as a great person. That's the perspective you need to be watching or having for yourself. See, over time in our community, we've seen the successes of basketball players, and we have mistaken that as the only means to success. And what we really have to do is kind of just reconfigure and reconstruct the methodology and the approach and how we think about sports as just a tool, which gives us the abilities to work as a team, to thrive under pressure, but it's not the ultimate outcome for who and what we are. So when I got introduced to science, it showed me, wow, this is another tool that I can have is the same amount of joy in that can also get me to that final outcome of being a successful man in life. Because I think one thing that happens with our youth nowadays is it's hard to see ourselves outside the prism of basketball, especially a lot of the young men that I meet. I'm an AAU coach. I'm very fully vested in basketball, and they see their whole life through the perspective of my success on the court. Their success in the classroom is predicated towards their success on the court. Their success in life is predicated on their success on the court. Their attitude for today that day is predicated on how well they did in the game. See, what they really should be, it really should be about building character and characteristics that show that you can be strong no matter what happens on the court that day. Your performance on the court is just you using your gifts in your outlet for a positive outcome. So that's really the mindset. I think we need to recondition our mindset as much as we can.
Absolutely. And as you were speaking, one of the scriptures that came to my head is saying that, my people shall lack of I'm paraphrasing, like the lack of knowledge, something like that. They shall perish for the lack of knowledge. And I think it takes the mature, the wise, and educated person to come to these youth and to educate them. Because like you said, if they don't, they just think one way, but they don't even know how to maximize their gift and their talents. And that's so important to say, hey, yes, like you said, you can start off here, but did you know you can end off here? Multitude, multiply. And a lot of people just think about, be fruitful and multiply. That's not just one way. That's not just one area. There's a lot of areas that you can tackle. But again, I think it comes to the education. But again, the kids don't know. So it's going to take someone like you. And I'm pretty sure that, when you see the kids out of order, you put them and say, hey, let me talk to you for a moment. Because they need that. Let me tell you something, especially our young Black boys, they need you to take them to the side and have that conversation with them. Because, when mommy talk, it's one way. But when the man talk, he said, oh, I'm attentive and I hear you. And they need that.
Yes. And there's definitely something to be said when a 6'2", 220-pound brother walks in the room with a certain level of charisma and swag, but still he begins to talk to you about education and the importance of that, the importance of having good grades, where good grades can take you. And that's why I do some of the things that I do right now in the community. I believe in something called incentivizing STEM. So when I come give a talk to kids and I ask them questions and I ask them to tell me what NASA means, tell me what STEM means, tell me who an engineer is, I would take money out of my pocket, $10, $20, and hand it to that kid because they were engaged in the moment. And you should see the eyes of everybody light up in the room. And then I explained to them why I incentivize STEM, because STEM is rewarding in the long run. And I also explained to them the best basketball players, the best artists that you can ever meet or ever come across. There's one Kanye West, there's one Jay-Z, but there's 10,000 African Americans in the engineering field that are making good money, driving good cars, and having a great lifestyle for them and their family. So would you want to? It doesn't hurt to try to be that 1% of the 1%. And I always encourage them to strive for that. But sometimes just do it by the numbers, statistically speaking, there's going to be so many more opportunities in STEM, and not just now, but in the future. We're now in the digital age. So sometimes you have to get on top of that trend and ride the wave while you can.
Absolutely. And you know what? I was actually having a conversation with someone the other day, and we was just talking about artificial intelligence and how it advanced so much. You can use it like it can do many things. It's like, wow, it's so amazing. But what a lot of young brothers don't know is that, like you said, you can go behind the scenes and be a part of that. And what the biggest thing that stand out to me is coding. Like, these young kids don't understand how important coding is, because coding is, these artificial intelligence working correctly. Coding is, the car engine communicating with the rest of the car, because everything is so advanced in technology today. But all of that is coding. What's that refer back to? The STEM. So if y'all want to get caught up with the wave and you want to make money in the wave, that is one route, because that is actually one route that I'm actually pushing my son. See, my son too, he's great in the active area, and he likes to burn off his steam by playing, and that's good, because you have to know how to channel your energy, and that also helps you build your confidence. But I said also too, I teach my son, the multiple streams of income, but at the same time too, you like this, like you said, someone took you by the side, you like this, so won't you zoom in on this area? You see what I'm saying? I think it's going to take a lot of parents, even if sometimes they don't want to listen to the parents, the community, because remember, this is a community effort. I can say something, and you probably say something to my son, he'd be like, oh, Charles is the greatest. And I'm like, but I said the same thing.
That's how it works.
Right, so I got to tell the moms, don't get in your feelings, just know how to utilize it. It's all about strategy, you feel me?
Yes. And it's all about the message, and sometimes it just is the messenger. In some cases, he's used to your message, and sometimes seeing that different perspective is motivating, and sometimes seeing something that you can be one day. Like I said, that is one of the big things that I do. My company, when we go in, the three primary workers who show up on the first day are three brothers, ex-athletes, all 6'2" or better, all 220 or better. So you see that we have come in with that presence. You see that we used to be athletes, but then we tell you that there's so much more, and there's so many more options. And we haven't let our athletic ways, just go by the wayside. We still play. Last few times in my league, my basketball league, our team won the championship. So I can still hoop. Hooping doesn't go away, but hooping isn't my only means to success. And I think that is the message that I like to give them. You don't have to take away your passion. You don't have to lose a passion for it. Sometimes it can actually lead to other endeavors, because both of my business partners, they have actually received scholarships for football, so they used it as a tool, not a primary vessel for their end destination. And so they got scholarships. Their education was paid for through sports, but they still ended up in a STEM career, in a STEM field. And like I always like to point out, if you're playing basketball, there's only one place you can go to be at the top of your profession, the pinnacle, and that's the NBA, correct? So that means There's one NBA, 300 players in the NBA, but you can be an engineer, a scientist, a mathematician, and you can end up at the Department of Defense, NASA, GM, Google. I mean, you can be the developer, app developer, create a cash app. You can be a cryptocurrency developer. There's so many different options. You can be part of the stock exchange, and you can still reach success. And there's so many different options. And I mean, I just named just a very few of thousands of tens of thousands of companies that give you these opportunities. And it's just about the volume of opportunities that are out there that we are missing because we have no one who can tell us that these options are there. So that's one of my passions, and that's one of my missions, to make sure that when I walk away from meeting a kid, getting to know a kid, interacting with a kid, that they can walk away today saying, I know a NASA engineer, and I can reach out and contact him at any time. Plus, he owns his own business. He owns 2 businesses. So he's also an entrepreneur. Plus, he'll take me to the basketball court at any time and beat me to this day. So see, I show them that versatility is still there, and it's in a very relatable way to try to inspire them to do more.
Right. I love that. I love how you name this top organization and you paint the picture that can be you, because again, they need to hear that and they need to visualize it. That can be me. Yes. who knows? You can be one of the biggest things that's inspired someone in Google, you know, and on Facebook, like you said, NASA. We need that. We need our young men to know that they can tap into these different organizations. And then talking about organization, I know you mentioned a little bit about yours, but what is the name of your organization, Charles?
Okay, my business, I have two. One is FBC Technical Solutions. That's myself and two of my business partners, as well as Fit Life Solutions, a business that I started with my wife, where we still go out into the community. We inspire the youth through a mental health and wellness perspective. Where FBC Technical Solutions, we inspire the youth through STEM, through robotics, through science programming, and like I say, robotics is the big highlight because it lets them know that to build and create and design with your hands and learn to think, and programming is not that far away. All you need is a little bit of time, some dedication and commitment, and someone to show you the way. And that's what we do. We try to show them the way, give them a path to a brighter future.
Absolutely. Now, question for you, Charles, within your organization, do you only do that within your local city, or is that available throughout the United States?
Well, we are primarily based right here in Cleveland, in the Cleveland and the greater Cleveland community, but we are in the process of expanding. So if you contact us, you reach out to us, we will definitely come to where you are, because it is our goal to reach all the kids that we can. And inspire a whole new generation of engineers. And it's not about reaching them all at once. We believe in if we can just reach one every time, that's our message, just reach one. But see, when we come with that passion to just reach one, and you had a room of 50, then you actually end up reaching 20. And then now every time you go, it just keeps growing exponentially. But our message is always, we just want to reach one, because that one person can change the face of the world one day through technology and artificial intelligence and machine learning and cognitive communications and programming capabilities. So we always emphasis and focus on making that one kid feel like they are the only one we're here to reach. And if we can reach them all on that individual level, it just has some impact and it sticks with them.
I love that, Charles. That is so awesome. So if anybody wanted to get in contact with you or your organization, how can they?
Okay, well, currently we have the best way to reach us is at our just emailing us as fbctechnicalsolutions@gmail.com. We also have our Facebook group, Tech Moves, because we are moving and grooving in the community through technical empowerment of the youth. And those are the two primary ways to reach us right now. We're starting to we're looking for our new Instagram handle because Tech Moves was taken.
I see, but awesome. I love it. I love everything that you share. I love it. Everyone, I hope you took some insights. If you have any questions or concern, please drop it in the comments, because this was really good. This is very educational. I even learned some things that I didn't really even know. And so you can imagine how these young boys feel. But Charles, I just want to thank you for gracing us today and just sending out the message. It was amazing. I'm appreciative that you came here today. But everybody, we are running out of time. So I will let them say good night to you. Continue to follow us here at the Lady K Chat Podcast here on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And you can also visit our website above that says www.ladykenterprisesinc.com. Everyone, thank you for tuning in, and you have a fabulous night.
Lady K.